Yeah. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, little boy. It's your boy, little boy. Yeah, we out here. Just making sure we're actually live in this piece. Double checking while I'm wrecking. Is that me? It's your boy. Oh, it's me. It's me. Okay, cool. What's up, everybody? Let's get it. Nerg one. Let's go. Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Wanted to do a little podcast today because I wanted to do one yesterday, but I got caught up with doggy business. And I made a post yesterday. I was saying that there was two things I want to do every Wednesday, if possible. One is a little solo podcast. And two, where you at? Come here, Churro. Churrito. Poor Churro's got he's got a little cone on. Come here. Oh my gosh. Are you trapped? Come here. I want to take the cone off, but you're gonna lick your nuts if I do. Oh my God. He hit his little cone. He hit his little cone. That face. My guy's pretty bummed that I took his nuts, but at the same time, he's like, for a warm place to stay out of the rain, I'll take it. 2 nuts, good trade for safety and security. And you're not going to get you're not at risk of certain cancers. Statistically, dogs that are fixed live longer, Churro. And maybe you won't mark. And you never peed inside because you're just a really good boy. So if anyone's looking to adopt the best dog in the world, you better get this fool. He is literally a winning lotto ticket on 4 legs. Okay, you can go. And I'm sorry. We'll get the cone off you. Don't just stand there looking stunned. Okay, yeah. My man's Churro's here. I'm here. Wanted to do a little pod because yesterday, like I said I wanted to pod every Wednesday. Also said I wanted to hit up my favorite open mic. Okay. My favorite open mic at the Caravan in downtown San Jose. And I did that, ladies and gentlemen. And I went and did the first stand-up set that I've done in nearly 5 years last night. So put your paws together for me, Churro. Give me a little clap. Yeah. And it was good, man. Your boy still got it. Let's see, what do we got? Ooh, Ryan, what's good? Yeah, I got it. I think I've got it figured out. We're in focus. You can see me. I wrote the password down so that I don't forget it next time. Pixie, what's up? Pixie keeps sending me a bunch of pics of old video game stuff she has that she's going to bring through when she comes to watch the battles. She a Game Gear, an NES with the NES with the pad. That thing was legit. You were the fucking you were the big dick on the block if you had that bitch back in the day. What about the Power Glove? Anybody remember the Nintendo Power Glove? I remember that thing functioning like shit, but everybody wanted it because of that movie Wizard. So that's just showing my age, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am a 40-year-old man in this bitch. Okay, my dog wasn't spayed. She was dying, and it cost me $2,500, and the doc saved her during her lunch break to get it done. So blessed. Yeah. I'm not sure what the not spayed part of it is, but there are a lot of diseases that female dogs are at risk of, ovarian cancer being one of them. Obviously, you don't get that if the ovaries are removed. But then on top of that, pyometria is something that we've treated dogs with, and we lost a dog from pyometria, which is a bacterial infection that happens when a dog goes into heat, and then bacteria gets inside them and causes a large infection. So, man, it's a lot of reasons to get your dogs fixed. I think people think it's like an unnatural thing to do, but the reality is that dogs are unnatural. We have genetically altered dogs over the last however many hundreds, 1,000 years or whatever, to make them be what we want. I mean, if you look at the difference between a wolf and a chihuahua, we did that. Obviously not a natural process. I mean, we, through selective mating and breeding and all sorts of other ways, we've pared these dogs down and turned them into what we want. And one of the things that we've consistently done with dogs over the last 100 years is we've spayed and neutered them. So they're, you know, genetically accustomed to that. And yes, statistically, dogs that are fixed do live longer. It's a question there. Is that because dogs that are fixed are typically owned by responsible owners? That's very possible. Very possible. But again, yes. Scotty said yes. Yeah, I learned the hard way. Oh, yeah, you got to do it, man. And I mean, again, like, this is why I feel like education on our part is one of the most valuable things we could do. I feel like there's a lot of things about dog ownership that people don't know. And I didn't know, bro. I had no idea about that shit until I started doing this shit. So, you know, through no fault of your own, there's not like a class you have to take. They don't teach you a lot of these things. They don't tell you a lot of these things. So we really try to provide as much education to people as possible about why it's important to do certain things, to get your dogs fixed, to get your dogs vaccinated, you know, so on and so forth. So yeah, sorry to hear about that, but I'm glad that your dog is okay. And I'm glad that the vet was able to save your dog. Because like I said, we have saved dogs' lives that had pyometria, and we lost a dog before, a beautiful dog named Baby. She had a large bite wound on her face, and that was infected, as well as the fact that she had pyometria, and she had a bunch of like ovarian cysts, and the vet tried to save her, and it just didn't work. It was a super sad, devastating day of dog rescue. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm out here preaching the gospel to everybody, trying to let everybody know you got to do what you got to do. Is there any more DDA merch? Okay, so I have a handful of hoodies left. I think I have like some smalls and a 2XL or 2. But we are in the process of releasing more. And by we, I mean DDA, not me. I don't even know who that is, for the record. But word on the street is it's a new DDA EP dropping soon. A single is going to come before that, as well as a remix. And when the EP drops, which is probably going to be March at this point, there will be an entire DDA merch store, which will include the hoodies, a hat, another t-shirt and tape combo that we're working on right now. We have, I keep saying Akoza and DDA have a tape that was made by a company in Germany, and they have some copies of that tape, and they're going to make a shirt with the cover and sell just the 25 tapes and shirts, like signed limited edition that we have. That'll be something that's available. I'm pretty sure it's going to be deathdealersanonymous.com. Don't quote me on that, but entire merch store on deck, multiple items, shirt, hat, hoodie, and then a very exciting thing that I'm not going to ruin right now because I don't have the numbers on it. So I don't know. Yeah, I think it is SM and EK. I think that's a good guess, Pixie. It could very well be SM and EK. I believe that they are the only two like people from the sphere of battle rap that have ever been featured on a DDA song. Probably because they're a couple of the best rappers in all of the world of battle rap. So salute to my guys. Salute to my guy SM. Salute to my guy What Dog Like Go. Edgy Quan or EK. You can call him EK if you want to. Everybody knows. Yeah. Hell yeah. Liam, what's good? I love that video you made with the new trucks you got. They reposted it. Stop talking to me about DDA stuff. I did stand-up comedy last night. Let's talk about that, okay? Let's have a little conversation about your boy getting back into the world of stand-up comedy. You're so fucking cute, Churro. I had fun, man. It was a blast. I really enjoyed getting back out there with my stand-up friends. Come on, go this way with your cone. You're ridiculous. I miss those guys. I miss my comedian buddies. They're fucking fun to hang out with. Shouts out to Ben Jaramillo, Birdman, Atu Walker, Mighty Mike McGee. That's who I was out there with last night. My boy Frankie Marcos hit me up and was like, "Yeah, you do it." Pete Munoz. Those are my comedy fam. And then, man, fucking, I was sitting at the bar and I was looking for jokes. And there's this death metal joke that I used to tell. Pretty funny. I'll tell you what it is. So I say, I'm a big fan of death metal. I like how when you go to a death metal show, usually the lead singer will explain what the song is and then tell you what it is before they play it. So they'll be like, this next song is about getting your head ripped off by a fucking chainsaw. It's called Chainsaw Murder. And they go right into it, right? Like, I want to tell jokes like that. So I want to be like, this next joke is about finding out your prostitute has a dick. So I moved this chick's balls out of the way. I'm like, what kind of vagina is this? Hi-yo. Love that joke. But I was looking for the jokes and I seen that joke. And the way I had set that joke up the last time I told it at Tommy T's was Sean is in 15 death metal bands. By Sean, I mean Sean Boyles, my good buddy who just a couple months ago had an aneurysm and dropped dead at work. Guy he started doing comedy right when I started doing comedy. He's a drummer for a bunch of different metal bands, including Insolence, which is how I knew him prior to comedy. And we like kind of did comedy together, for 5 years. And then pandemic started. I started a dog rescue. He kept going with the comedy, killing it, producing a bunch of really awesome shows locally here in the Bay Area. And then he just fucking dropped dead one day. Oh my God, I damn near shed a tear at the fucking bar right there. I told the bartender, Rachel, and she was like, I'd seen tears well up in her eyes. It was a fucking sad moment. But then today she hit me up and she said, Sean would have been stoked that you got back up there. So, thank you, Rachel. And man, miss you, bud. Miss you, Sean. And I will continue to do comedy in your name. Yeah, Sean was a good fucking dude. Ryan knew Sean. Ryan did a lot of stand-up with us too. And he knows all those guys I'm talking about right now. And they'd be happy to see you out there too, buddy. So I know work is crazy, but one of these Wednesdays, come through, pick me up. We'll go to the van, tell some jokes. We're doing that now. Also, they have an open mic at the Improv. And fucking Birdman was like, homie, I would have put you on last night because we're trying to put new people on all the time. You haven't been up in forever. And I was like, yeah, but I felt like the Caravan is where I wanted to come back and tell some jokes. Low pressure, no pressure. You know what I mean? So next month, I think it's the third or second week of the month, they'll do the open mic at the Improv and we can go get on that shit. So let's do that. But yeah, not right off the bat. So yeah, man, sorry for the loss of all the Bay Area comedy homies because Sean was really close to all of us and he was a special dude. So, bang, 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 bang. Noah said, the old switcheroo. Yeah. Who are your favorite stand-up comedians that aren't super famous like Chappelle? Okay, so like I don't really have a big wealth of knowledge of stand-up comedians, especially like currently. I really like the Adam Friedland show cast. I mean, and by that I mean I can't remember his name. Nick whatever. Fucking hilarious. So funny. His stand-up special was hilarious. Probably should know his name. But then I just don't want to say Cumtown, and that's really where I know those guys from. As far as like long term, like my whole life, Cat Williams has always been one of my favorite comedians. Like way before he started fucking flaming everybody this year. Like if you asked me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even who was my favorite, Cat Williams would have always been on my list because he's just too fucking funny. And Norm Macdonald, I always thought he was like his kind of humor was really fucking funny. And Bill Hicks. I don't know if you're familiar with Bill Hicks. He was a really funny comedian in like the 90s. Had a lot of jokes about smoking and then died of cancer. How about that shit? The joke's on you, buddy. Yeah. Stick to Your Guns is my all-time favorite. When they drop it, for what it's worth, yeah. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, Norm, fucking legend, super funny. Never was really into George Carlin. I guess I'm not that old, but I was always told that he was like, I feel like it's fucked up to say you're not a fan of George Carlin because like he influenced so many comedians that like you probably are. Even if you're not, you probably are. So, I'm trying to think of like anybody else off the top of my head, and I really can't. I guess Mitch Hedberg is like a super honorable mention. Just having like a completely left field style of comedy, and like listening to that would always make me laugh no matter what. There was a time, again, like showing my age here. I did a rap battle, and I won an XM radio subscription and device. So for like a year, I had XM radio and I would listen to only comedy because like, I don't know. It's just, I was cool. I never had a comedy radio station before. So there was a time when I listened to a lot more comedy than now. And then I think like, and I don't know, Ryan might be able to back me up on this. When you do comedy, you kind of don't want to watch other people do comedy outside of like at the club watching your friends and like people that you're performing with. Like you don't want to spend a lot of time watching other people like professionals do comedy for multiple reasons. A, because you're doing 5 and 10-minute sets and typically you'd be watching like half an hour long specials. And like the whole delivery there is different. Like you're not wasting 5 minutes on one joke when all you got is 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So like had to learn to be more punchy, and it didn't serve me to focus on people who were already like had crossed that bridge and were at the point where they're putting together like hour-long specials. Also, like you don't want to be influenced by other people when you're doing comedy. But there was like a few dudes that we used to tell jokes with that used to like have jokes that were super funny. I can't remember this dude's name, but he worked at Happy Hollow. And he had this joke about cops. He said, you know, I wonder why they always play bagpipes at cops' funerals. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I guess it does sound like a pig dying. Oh, my God. That is a fucking good joke. I told him, I was like, yo, that's a bar, homie. And then I went and used, and then the Death Dealers used that in a song. Shit, I'm never going to not fuck this up, guys. It's so hard to be a cartoon character. It's not easy. So, but yeah, Caustic was here last week. We did a fucking hour and 40 minutes. That boy is a monster. He does like 4-hour video game streams, so it's nothing for him. Me, I was like, fucking, I'm sweating. I'm tired. I need some water. Yeah, but shouts out to Caustic for coming through. And then we found out that Robo has been bullying people in the Pokemon community, thanks to our buddy Blue. Sent me a bunch of clips. So I spent like an hour and a half plus multiple videos. They keep popping up in my feed, researching Robo being a Pokemon bully. And we're gonna wait for Caustic to chop that fable. But whenever Caustic is ready to come back, I think he does tournaments down here, so maybe like this weekend, next weekend, whatever. As soon as we can get Caustic back in the studio, we're gonna chop that fucking Robo Pokemon bully fable all the way the fuck out. I'm gonna have some clips. We're really gonna get to the bottom of this because I'm telling you right now, it's fucking hilarious. It's everything that you want it to be and more. So shouts out to Blue for bringing that to our attention. And then it's like I seen Laughing Stock post about it. And then Marv was like, yeah, I seen Laughing Stock post about it. I was like, yeah, people know about this. It's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Like and just the fact that that community exists and how large it is was amazing to me as is. But to hear, that Robo was leaving his mark, for lack of a better term, like Dale Denton style on the Pokemon world, wow, really fucking entertaining. And I think that if people had a concept of like who he was going into that world, they wouldn't be that surprised. This is a guy who violently snapped at a rap battle, and the footage is there to show it. So also welcome Robo to come on and talk about this. We're going to be fair and unbiased and operate with journalistic integrity. So, yeah, I'm gonna be doing more stand-up comedy. I like doing stand-up comedy. I don't know. Somebody asked me, somebody was posting on Twitter. They were like, "What comedians do you absolutely not find funny?" Which is always funny when people are like, "Be mean." And my answer was that Andrew Schultz guy. Not my cup of tea, man. I'm not like into TikTok comedy, I guess, but like literally everything I've seen from that dude seems more annoying and arrogant in the wrong way than funny to me. And I think for the most part, people agreed. You know, to each their own, though. It's not like, I mean, the guy clearly has a fan base. I don't know about if it's like for doing stand-up comedy as opposed to like having a podcast and whatever. I don't think many people probably think of him as a comedian. And that's why I legitimately asked the question, is this guy a comedian? Because if he's a comedian, I think he's painfully unfunny. But Digits was like, aren't you a comedian? And I was like, no. I've been running a dog rescue for the last 5 years. And to be fair to comedians, like, I was never a comedian. I was a rapper who did stand-up comedy. I think it would be insulting, even though I did it for 5 years, even though they paid me money to do it sometimes, which was probably, in retrospect, kind of slimeballish of me. I don't know. They put my name on a flyer and people paid to see me specifically. So like I'm entitled to money in that regard, but I could see how that could be annoying to people who have like actual comedy chops. It'd be like, why would you pay to see this asshole? And I guess that's probably like comedy in a nutshell right now, is a lot of like fucking YouTube celebrities doing specials after they've been doing comedy for like 4 or 5 years. And then people who have been doing comedy for like 15 years being like, man, fuck this. So that seems like, yeah, Mandrew was texting me links too. Cool. Yeah, no, Blue started the train, and I did get links from multiple people though. So shouts out to Mandrew as well. Really just a fun story, and I'm really excited to break this all the way down. So thank you, Mandrew, as well. Yeah. What are we saying, Beanie? Would you consider restarting the Behind the Bots podcast? Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough, because I see what Mandrew's right. Like, we're not doing BOTZ battles anymore, but we did do a lot of BOTZ battles. So I think we could sit down and talk about specific battles for sure that have happened in the past. I think if Thesaurus is like in town at any point, we're sitting down and we're talking about him versus Topper. And I obviously Topper as well. But Topper lives way further away. Thesaurus is in Vegas, but he's out here quite often. So, but fucking open invitation. If Topper's ever around, fucking that would be awesome. It would be amazing to have them both together. My expectations are not that high. And we could always do phone shit too. So I could always get them on the phone. We're working on things as far as like we're gonna get a graphic card so that we could stream some video games. And I'm assuming that like we can probably figure out the Zoom shit pretty simply. It's probably even possible right now. I don't know. I don't know how to do that right now by myself. I'll tell you that much. But I could fucking call a motherfucker and set the phone in front of the microphone, and that would legitimately work. So, that's possible. Yeah. So behind the bots. Hey, not a bad idea, buddy. Not a bad idea. That would be something we could do. Topper is on the East Coast. That's what I was saying. He's further away, so wouldn't be super easy. I think the night we did the Caustic podcast was the same night as the Strickland DDP fight. What a shitty pay-per-view that was. There was a couple of good fights out of like 15. I think all the Canadians lost, except for Jazz Divisius. Good shit. But I think Mike Malott was fucking winning the whole fight, and then Neil Magny came back and beat him in the last 15 seconds. Oh, that's gotta suck. All he had to do was survive for 15 seconds, and he would have won the fight. At home to his crowd, who is like cheering him on super hard all week. DDP versus Strickland was like just like a really hard sparring match is what it felt like. Which is, I mean, to their credit, I feel like they're both trying to finish, but they're shutting each other down at every turn. I kind of thought Strickland won, but I don't understand how they score takedowns anymore. I don't understand. Because people will be like, oh, well, you have to do damage for it to count. And he didn't. But there's also like control. And like, he certainly controlled the rounds that he got the takedowns in. I don't know. I'm always looking at who got the most fucked up. And I know that ain't like the best measure. Because sometimes if someone will get fucked up and then they'll finish the other dude. But like at the end of that fight, man's DDP's face was hooked up. And Strickland just had a really bad cut under one eye. But whatever, good fight. I'm sure it doesn't really fuck up Strickland's stock as far as like he's going to remain in that top 3. And like very likely, even if he doesn't get the immediate rematch, because they want to do that Izzy versus DDP fight, he'll get next on that. And he might have to fight a contender between there. Probably not. Maybe Khamzat. They might do Strickland Khamzat because they don't think Khamzat deserves a title shot, and totally agreed. Like all he's ever beat at middleweight was a welterweight who was fighting at middleweight. And even if that's Usman, doesn't count. I think Mearshart was a middleweight, but regardless, like no one in the top 10 at all, you can't just jump straight to a fucking belt. I don't care what Dana White promises you. But yeah, MMA stuff. Your boy still loves the fights. I'm a man of fine taste. Back on my skateboard. Your boy's doing it all. This is what happens when you quit smoking weed. You have all this time on your hands. What am I doing? What do I do with my hands? Thank you, sir. No, we didn't. Look, Dan, we're not doing the Robo breakdown until Caustic gets here. We got to do it with Caustic. So you guys will get a good heads up. I'll hit up Caustic and see if he has any idea of when he's coming to town. But I'm not doing that without Caustic because we just together took too much joy from that for me to just blow it right now. And I'd really like to have somebody else here to bounce their ideas about this whole situation off of. I don't want to just be by myself here with you guys talking. I'd love to hear what somebody else has to say about this whole situation. And I really feel like Caustic is best suited for that. So we're going to talk more with Caustic about that. Ooh, man, Dirt for Sale. Somebody asked me the other day about a song that I wrote that was like, it was a song that didn't make it on Dirt for Sale, but somehow was released somewhere because the guy knew about it. And he's like, do you remember this song? And I'm like, fucking vaguely. But do you know how long ago that came out now? I don't know. Look at the back of the CD if you got it, but I'm pretty sure I dropped Dirt for Sale in 2001. Holy shit. That is a 23-year-old rap album. And it sounds like a 23-year-old rap album. Back when like you could like quality wasn't important as long as you was spitting. Oh man, we were the worst. I used to rap like an idiot. I used to do hella inflections with my voice. I think all of us used to do that more than not. It took me literally 20 years to learn how to rap in a way that didn't sound annoying as fuck to me. But I feel like I might have nailed the formula right around like the time we were doing a lot of music over there at Ruin Your Day over Chase beats. There was a few songs like that song Low Key. That was like right around the time I was like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to rap, huh? Like kind of lower tone or whatever. A lot of it had to do with just destroying my throat with backwoods. Pause. Hey, pause. Whoa, pause, homie. Destroying your throat. Whoa. Yeesh. My bad. Pause. Yeah, you know what's funny is Dirtbag Dan being my name. Like last night, I wrote Dan Martinez on the fucking piece of paper. And of course, I did, to Mike's credit, he said Dan Martinez. And then I went up there and everyone said, Dirtbag Dan, Dirtbag Dan. I said, oh, you fucks. Oh, you fucks. Imagine if everybody just called you by your Xbox Live handle from high school. If they were like, oh, what's up, fucking Big Blunts 42069? Like, oh, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, fucking Big Dick 42069. It's like nobody wants to be known by their like fucking shitty high school nickname. But I did that to myself. That's what I did. That's what I did. You know what's funny is I didn't even let anybody know we're live, and we got a bunch of motherfuckers in here. Yeah, man, notification gang. Notification gang. Notification gang. I'm going to let people know we're live now. After the fact. Fuck it. Who cares? Join me or not, dude. Join me or die. We live. Link. Bang. Join me or die. Disrespectful. Disrespectful. What is he? Caustic said he's currently walking around at 212 pounds, and he was 250 pounds when he quit smoking. And I said, man's had a 38-pound beer belly. He said, shit was a Cazadores belly. Ooh, yikes, man. I had a few beers last night, and your boy was a little buzzied. Your boy was a little buzzed. No more fucking hard liquor for me. The last time I got strong-armed into taking a shot, I certainly threw up that night. Definitely fucking did. My body is not built for that shit no mo. I think Dirtbag Dan definitely was a good name for the time. It worked well for the battle rap because I think it's there's some alliteration there, and nobody was like, everybody was going by cool rap names back then. Like nobody was going by real names, which came later, I feel like. And then more elaborate names, which kind of fall somewhere in the mix. But not a lot of like really straightforward, like wrestling style names with good alliteration in the beginning, you know? So I think it helped me stand out in a time when standing out was important. So, dude, hangovers in your 40s are trash. It's so much different. I drank a bunch of beers and ate some weed gummies. Oh, the night of the fucking DDP fight, and I threw up. You know what happened? I was super fucking, I ate the weed gummies, and I was going to go to sleep, and I was like kind of falling asleep, laying in bed, and I popped up all at once, and I was like, I need a bowl of cereal. So that I ran inside, and I had already ate like a chili dog and some other bullshit. I ran inside, I fucking poured a bowl of cereal, and I fucking woofed that shit down so fast it was like coming out of my nose while I was eating. And then like I just felt up here. It just felt like there was just Cheerios chilling all the way up to my fucking Adam's apple. And I was like, oh, yep, you're definitely going to throw up in a moment here. And certainly I did. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Trying to just get used to this new life where I don't smoke weed, and I'm not good at it. I have not mastered the gummy tolerance yet. I either take too little or too much every time. I ran out of gummies last night. Fucking 3 hour dream about running from the cops with some fucking dickhead I just met at the bar. Was driving a car, making all the wrong decisions. Next thing you know, we're running from the cops in what I can only describe as like a Need for Speed San Francisco level version of San Francisco. And we're just running from the cops on foot in a car. And at some point, I'm like dimension hopping and shit. And I woke up fucking sweating through my clothes once again, going, what the fuck, man? Dreams are trash. Save that shit for somebody else. Save that shit for kids with hopes, because I don't want them. I don't want dreams. I don't want any of that shit. And I will go to the club and buy some more gummies today. If it means no dreams tonight, yeah, man. Fuck that. I got my hands on some mushrooms not too long ago, and I never get like hangovers from mushrooms. Never. Even, dude, you know what's crazy is I remember when we were on tour in Canada, we were in Nelson, BC, and we took a bunch of acid, and we drank. There was like 4 of us. It was me, the homie Paxton, Kung Fu Vampires drummer, Kung Fu Vampires bassist Jeremy, and his lady, who was doing merch for us. And the 4 of us took acid, and then the 4 of us, we had a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of Aftershock, and we drank all that shit. And I didn't get a hangover at all. Something about acid makes me be able to drink like indiscriminately and then not feel the repercussions of it. But then also, like, I don't know, probably took years off my brain life. But goddamn, Nelson, BC, holy shit, that is a beautiful place. Like, if anybody has any concept of Nelson, BC, if you've ever been there before, holler. Amazing. They had that park with that big old orange bridge. Fucking ducks and geese everywhere. My God, that place is beautiful. And yes, I know. I was hallucinating. Drank a lot of that, the pink fucking Crush cream soda. Oh my. Send me a case of that, Canada. Your boy needs a whole case of pink fucking Crush cream soda. Holy shit, that shit's good. That's my favorite fucking soda on the planet. Dude, British Columbia, insane. We were driving and I seen a fucking like a fox running with a fucking rabbit in its mouth. I seen a like super mangy ass bear just like walking on the side of the road. Like must have just woke up from fucking hibernation or something. It's like hair was all in patches. Well, homie, I ain't never seen a bear before. I've seen foxes and I've seen rabbits, but I never seen a fox with a rabbit in its mouth. Wow, beautiful, crazy place. Definitely, that would be somewhere I wouldn't mind posting up or ending up in life. Like if you just like, if the car broke down in Nelson, BC, and we just decided to stay there forever, be thinking about that type of shit when I'm on tour. There was a place in Arizona called like Smile, Arizona. And it was like the population was like 25 people. And I was like, yeah, why don't we make it 27? We make it 27, babe. We should be here forever. Get a job at the gas station. You know what I mean? Think about that a lot when I'm on tour. Like, who are these people that live in these towns? And what if it was me? What if we just got a trailer, got a job at the diner, washing dishes, just enjoy the simple life? You know what I'm saying? Fucking just watching fucking network TV, eating fucking Salisbury steak TV dinners and just putting your feet up and going, yeah, this is nice, regular. Maybe starting a cactus farm, maybe selling succulents. You know what I mean? Pause. You pause that? Sounds pausey. Sounds like you want to pause that. Yeah, Bellingham, I think we passed through. Just BC in general is just beautiful. And it's funny because if you drive from one side of Canada to the other, after you leave BC, you end up in like flat Calgary. Really, just some of the ugliest stretch of country I've ever seen in my life, which is pretty similar to the United States, right? You once you leave the Rockies, you're just in the flat bullshit of Kansas or whatever the fuck is behind there, and it sucks. And then you're like, man, what if I ended up here? That wouldn't be tight. That would be really suck ass. I remember the other side of the Rockies, like the Idaho side of the Rockies. Does that make sense? Is that a thing? Am I doing geography right? I feel like that was beautiful. And I never really thought about like Idaho in that way. I had a pimp. it's because I had a pimp, right? Oh shit. No, you can pause. I'm pausing. I'm gonna pause. I'll be pausing in my fucking 80s, bro. Catch me out there. I'll be on a walker. And someone will be like, oh, I got a crick in my back. And I'll be like, oh, but pause, homie. Pause. You got a crick in your back. Pause that. Hi-yo. Yeah. I'm pausing until the day I die, buddy. I don't care. It's not offensive. It's for everybody. It's for the people. Yeah, selling suck, you got to pause. If you're selling any kind of suck, you want to pause that. I'm from New York and we will pause forever. Homie, I'm doing it for you. I'm trying to keep it going on the West Coast. Dude, it's pause heavy though on the East. I remember I opened a door for someone in New York. The first time I ever got a pause for a physical action. I held the door open for one of the homies and it was like, hey, yo, pause. Is that? I thought I was just being polite. But I guess being polite is pause-worthy. So, fire. Yep. Yeah, new rap name is Big Paws, for sure. Big Paws like P-A-W-S, though. Like a dog. Big Paws. You know what I'm saying? But then we all know what I'm really talking about. So it's like a double meaning thing. I think that's good. I think that is actually going to be an alias in the future. Big Paws. Because I got big paws, homie. Schmack ya. What else? Tekken 8 just dropped. Shit looks crazy. Caustic was here talking about Tekken last week. He made a really good point that like, while we were mastering Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, the Koreans were dominating Tekken to the point where there is something called a Korean backdash. And if you don't know how to do that, you will get fucked up. So, he's like, I want to start playing Tekken because that's what I guess he used to be good at originally. But you might just be too far out the loop on that. I've been playing King of Fighters 13. Holy shit, I fucking love it. And I've actually like started to get good at it over the last like week or so. Starting to understand finally how to work the gauges and how to do like the cancels. And hit him with your own fucking special, mid their special. I finally beat the fucking dickhead boss, Saki. Fucking Ash Crimson turns into Saki, and then you have to fight like a dark version of Ash Crimson again. Ash Crimson, super effeminate, pause, whooping your ass. I hate the dudes that throw the fireballs and then like two of them come at you. So you can't really like just jump or just duck. You have to dash. Or do the roll, or else you get fucking smacked. And these fools are just like, ole, 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 just throwing like fireball, but it's two coming at you at a time. King of Fighters got the most broken bosses ever. If you're playing one of those games, like they will fuck you up and remind you that you're not good. And Korean, pause on the Korean backdash, homie. Pause that. This is a very pause heavy episode. Yeah, he seems like Caustic is a Mortal Kombat dude. But I think he was saying that the Mortal Kombat, like everything but the gameplay sucks. So like he does have some gripes with like the actual online like playing with each other and like getting into matches and like the functionality of this shit. So I can understand why you'd want to switch. Bang, 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 bang. You know what? Beanie, I'm going to say the Adam Friedland Show podcast is probably like the only one that I'm consistently listening to right now because it's pretty fucking funny to me. I really liked, I used to listen to Come Town, like kind of in the background, and didn't find it as funny as I find that Adam Friedland Show podcast because it like having like a concept of the progression, and like they started this podcast and like on Come Town they hella made fun of Adam all the time, like as it was like a running joke on the show. And then like when they started the new podcast, they're like, we're gonna name it after Adam and I'm gonna treat him with respect. And then like over time it just shifted back into talking shit about Adam all the time. And that to me is like, when you just are naturally inclined to do some shit like that, that's awesome. Also, I would be remiss to say that in this landscape, Frozen Bros, kind of killing it. Kind of ridiculously killing it. They've tapped into something special there. I think that you can't, whatever, no matter what, like nothing's going to be better than friends having fun. And I think that's the stage that the Frozen Bros podcast is at right now. They're at the friends having fun stage, and everybody, it's just fun to watch because it's just like you're watching friends having fun. Hope they stay there forever, man. I feel like that's a hard stage to stay in as a podcast. I feel like popularity will want to push you out of that. So fucking much power to the guys. And I hope that they're able to maintain that kind of just like fun vibe throughout as they get more and more popular. And I say that because like we went on with Caustic and these fools were live with Method Man at the same time. It's like, how do we compete with that? No, not at all. I mean, we had Dell on our podcast and I thought that was the coolest fucking thing ever. And Caustic is so funny because like he just treats famous people like regular people, like, and even maybe even more dickish. So like we went to go get Dell for the podcast and we're calling him and he's not answering the phone, and Caustic's like, I'll just go get this fool. And he just walks into Dell's house and like fucking shoves him on the couch. He's like, wake up, fool, we're supposed to podcast. So funny. That's great. That's magic, you know? So I feel like I have some kind of concept, but Method Man though, that's kind of a level up there. And then they were like rapping. Fuck. That's cool as fuck. I've never met Method Man. You'd think I would have. Not really. I didn't meet Drake. Drake was coming through a door and I was coming through a door at the same time. And I was like, whoa, shit, crazy. He fucking walked right past me to shuffle tea and was like, big fan. Respect. Okay. It's fine. Shit. Okay. Fucking Canadian. Whatever. But I digress. Got to kick it with Ludacris. Me and Marv was kicking it with Ludacris. We was at the bar and I was telling Ludacris, I was like, look at this bartender looks like she's a Mortal Kombat character. I don't remember if he thought that was funny. I thought it was funny. And then that same night we ran into Funkmaster Flex in elevator. It was like me and Marv and PH, RIP, my guy. I think LMS was there too, and we were in the elevator, and then Funkmaster Flex gets in the elevator with some chick, and we're like, hey, what's up? And he kind of like dogged us out and then fucking got off the elevator, and we all just started laughing hella hard. Like just the minute he must have like the minute the door closed, everyone's just like, ah! Like just laughing hella hard. Marv was like, man, fuck this fool. That whole weekend was crazy. We actually, so myself, LMS, Marv, PH, and then this dude named Prince EA, he was pretty like popular internet character. He became like a fucking like buff motivational speaker guy. But this is back when he was like a nerdy rap kid. The 5 of us won the Magnum Live Large competition for each of our regions. I won California. Crazy. It was me and No Can in the finals. And then I got more votes because I don't think No Can knew how to get people to vote. No, me, I did. So we show up there, and like it's funny, PH thought that we had to like compete for money still, and like they just gave us all 5 racks when we got there, and then we're like, yeah, we're performing, and the whole vibe changed. Everyone's like, oh shit, okay, cool, like fun. So like we were all stoked. We ended up, Ludacris introduces us. We go on stage in Miami, fucking 10,000 people in the audience, and we played like, Luda is doing a set with like DJ Khaled and some other fools, and then fucking they bring us up and we do like all of our songs in like one like 10-minute mashup. So each of us are doing like 2 minutes. And then right when we get off stage, the fucking Marley Brothers are on next. And we were walking to go off stage, and all of a sudden the Marleys are coming towards us. And fucking instinctively, we kind of step back to the side like this, and they fucking pass us. And I swear to God, like Marv said it and I thought it at the same time. It was literally like a fucking pack of lions walked past us. Like just huge fucking manes. Like all these motherfuckers are like 6 foot plus. Just like fucking aura coming off them. And like they didn't have to tell us to move. We just instinctively kind of like backed up, and they moved past us like lions, and we like probably like held our breath while they walked by. It was a surreal moment in my life. I'm putting that close to the top of the list of most surreal moments in my life. And I fucking, that shit, I think that's why one of the things that I was so close with PH, because we battled like each other. So there's this like weird animosity you have towards someone that you battle. And then when you battle, you're like, fuck yeah, never got to do that again. You know what I mean? So like we had that. And then on top of that, we had this crazy fucking like weekend in Miami where all this surreal shit happened. So even though like I only got to hang out with PH like maybe 5 or 10 times in my life, you know, battles. He came out here one time and did the podcast. He used to love to eat mushrooms. PH used to love to eat mushrooms, and he would eat mushrooms and like no one would know this fool was on mushrooms, but he was. It seemed so weird, and out of character. Cause he was, to me, I always thought he was like a very controlled person, and he was, I guess, like even in the most, obscure and hallucinogenic circumstances, that man had a grasp on reality that most people don't. But yeah, like I felt like me and him were, moments like that make you really close with somebody. So like that's, you know, I feel like there's confusion as to why that one hit me so hard. Is because of that. Like we had a lot of these weird, like we had a whole history, me and that guy. And I considered him to be a friend for sure, like through and through. So when he passed away, it was rough for sure. And, you know, Caddy is the same way in a lot of ways. Like that's fucking Bender too. It's like me and Bender had like fun. I never battled Bender. I would never. I didn't want to get fucked up to that degree. But Bender, like every time I would go to Canada, he would do wild shit. I remember he was fucking like he would get shitty and pass out in my hotel room all the time. Like more than once, more than twice. Just like on the couch, on the floor, whatever. And typically because I was married and wasn't like bringing bitches back, my hotel room always ended up being the place where everybody kicked it at the end of the night. So, but yeah, all those guys, like there was a very specific reason that we had paintings of those people, because they were my friends in a way that like extended beyond battle rap. So tangent, but I felt like that was worth explaining. So, dude, certainly. And that was another thing about PH, like Orange Moon over Brooklyn and shit like that. Like we were listening to PH's music before we ever even thought about battling. When I was doing freestyle battles, before Grind Time existed, I had PH shit on tape when I was skateboarding, when I was in fucking high school, dude. Like, so when I met him, when I knew I was going to meet him, I was excited. Like it was he was a legend beyond the shit for sure. So, and a lot because of like Immortal Technique and shit. And it was really cool to be able to be able to like meet dudes like Immortal Technique through and Swave through PH. Like and Swave I still consider to be like a good friend. And anytime if I see Immortal Technique anywhere, I'm saying what's up 100. That guy's always been super fucking cool. So man, salute my guys. So many years later, it's crazy kind of looking at the spectrum of things and like where people are now. And I fucking often wonder, where would PH be? What would PH be doing right now? You know what I mean? I feel like he would be heavily involved in the world of battle rap. He was such a flagship character in this shit, without question. Ron would have probably been like a movie star, I think. He really had all of the fucking chops necessary to be something beyond what we do. And that's like no slight to, anybody who I only say that because his music was so great and he was so funny, and there were so many things that he did outside of the world of battle rap that I thought were like even better than his persona as a battle rapper. And PH to me was bigger than just a battle rapper in the scene, because he was a guy who was a catalyst for like people becoming battle rappers. Like Roan doesn't exist without PH. There's a whole bunch of New York talent that would not have existed. Essentially, like everybody who URL wasn't fucking with got put on because of PH. You know what I mean? Like he created an avenue for all those people. So many fucking big names. And like honestly, to be fair, like it used to bother him a lot that the grind time shit was labeled like the funny shit, and then there was the street shit, because he was responsible for a lot of like the street guys starting to battle. You know what I mean? So who knows? But I feel like he would be definitely somebody who would be like would have continued to advance the battle rap shit for sure. And then Bender, fucking crazy writer, writing on a level that was like far beyond any of us, really. You know what I mean? Like we all like the Oppenheimer bar. I often, and I've said this before, that's something when I'm trying to explain to somebody how cool battle rap can be, that's the bar that I use to explain it, because it's like so fucking clever, but then also such a fucking like the way the syllables stack on each other, and there's it's just a perfect rhyme too. So like it shows to me it's the most like easy way to illustrate to someone who has no concept of battle rapping, like, okay, well, this is like something that someone would say in a battle that you couldn't do in a song, really, because you don't have the time to like let the lyrics breathe like that. You're like trapped within whatever the rhythm is, or whatever the beat is like setting the plate for you. But like you could really like lay some shit out in battle rap like you can't in any other place. And that is kind of a bar that I would use to show people that. And I have in the past. And the response is always like, oh yeah, that's fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like it just definitely fucking hits the note right there. So, but yeah, I mean, like, certainly, especially at this point, goes without saying that Pat was on his way to being far beyond where we are with battle rap. Pat is the one I think that is the most devastating, and not because of like standing or status or anything like that, because of timing. You know what I mean? Because Pat was literally like, he was in the process of breaking through. He was transcending, and he got snatched from us like as he was transcending, as he was breaking through what people, the molds of what people thought like a battle rapper could be. He had already like taken over all the forms of battle rap. Like not just the funny side, but then he broke into the fucking URL side and fucking planted his flag there. And it was undeniable across the board that this was a unique talent. And then he was like working on some fucking TV shit and was really about to just take this shit to the next level. And he got fucking stolen from us. And that too, I mean, the fact that it was some fucking, you know, low life fucking piece of shit scumbag like taking out the brightest light, and not like a medical emergency or a disease, you know, like we had dealt with in the past, but like a fucking murder. That one will always sting the most because of the circumstances and the timing. And it, not that, man, I probably knew Pat the least out of all those guys, to be honest. Definitely someone who I considered to be a friend, but I wasn't near as close with Pat as I was with Bender. Definitely not PH, and definitely not Caddy. Caddy was like my bro, and PH in a lot of ways was too. And Bender was a good friend. I didn't get to spend as much time as I did with the other guys. And like I said, me and PH and Caddy had so many things, like battled each other. We're on tour together, fucking, you know, made music together. Like there was all these bridges that fucking we had crossed together that made us super close. Didn't have a lot of that with Pat. Still feel like that was the one that stung the most because it was just so fucking violently unfair. You know what I mean? If there's ever an indication of how unfair the world is, that's definitely one of them for sure. You know? Blech. I'm out here being sad. On a happy note, Pat definitely inspired me to do comedy, and like inspires me still today to continue to do comedy and to not let anything stand in the way of like doing what I want to do. Cause fucking life's too short, baby. If you ever needed a sign that life's too short, I mean, that's one right there. Yeah, man. I mean, if anybody was gonna get the M battle, it probably would have been Pat. It probably would have made the most sense, to be honest. Yeah, that's not a bad indication. Yeah, right. Like man just said, I told my 70-year-old mom that series of bars, and she said, "Holy shit!" Yeah, that literally is the one, the Bender Oppenheimer scheme. I think I've told my mom that too, and my mom was, "Oh, that's really good." You know what I mean? Like that's definitely one of those ones that you could break down to somebody who was, not, involved in battle rap or even rapping in any way, shape, or form, and they would see the merit in it just by how good the bar is. What's up, Powers? What's goody? I got overheated and blacked out twice at BOTZ9. Pat was the one who picked me up and got me water. Dude, literally the star of the show, just checking on the audience, just making sure they're cool. Also, like the whole thing about that battle was Pat hitting me up to do that battle. He did it for cheaper than he probably would have battled fucking anybody at that time. And packed fucking house. Packed house. Probably the most attendance we ever had at a BOTZ event. And you think about like the battles that we had at previous events. And Pat was the biggest star. He really was. He really was the biggest fucking star. And shouts out to No Shame. I think what a lucky battle to get. You know what I mean? Even if you got your shit kicked in, it probably worth it. You know what I mean? I always said I would never battle Pat because I'm not battling someone who could obviously physically beat my ass. And it's not like some of the people I battled couldn't have beat my ass. I'm not going to name names, but I'm sure I would have probably got beat up in a couple of those fist fights. But visually, come on, man. You're not going to rap better than me and look like you could kick my ass at the same time. No, that's not fair. Go take that ball and go home, dude. I'm not doing that shit. That's too much. I told him that too. I used to always tell Pat as well. I used to say, homie, you must be fucking terrible at sports. You must be the most fucking clumsy fucking two left foot motherfucker. Because how are you so physically gifted and then you're out here with the nerds doing nerd shit? You must suck. He must have been so bad at basketball because he could just walk up and go bip, 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 make baskets. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was my little joke I used to say to him all the time. Good times, good times, good times. Did I show you guys the painting that, or the collage that All Day Dirt gave me for helping him move? Let me show you. Because Dirt, our boy Jordan, he had a studio down the street and it was fucking awesome. He was there for a few months. Place is getting renovated, so he had to move. I helped him put all his stuff in storage, and I don't know where the fuck he is right now. I haven't hit him up though. I'm gonna fucking hit him up right when I finish this, and I'm gonna see where he's at because he was talking about he was gonna go to Santa Monica, and he was going to go do some gallery shit out there because he had a connection out there. My man's is so plugged into like all the shit. So he's either in SoCal or he's in Jackson with Chicken. Shouts out. And probably making some more cool shit. But let me show you guys before we wrap this shit up because we've been going for over an hour. Let me show you this collage that he made and gave to me. It's fucking awesome. I don't know if he knew, but this was one of my favorite pieces that he ever made. And it was, he just handed it to me before I left. I was like, oh, you motherfucker. This one right here. So sick. Look at that. Fucking sick. And this is the OG. You can feel it. There's so many fucking cool things on this one. There's so much little cool shit going on. I love the giant Gundam, obviously. But then the little homegirl in the corner. Yeah. Fucking lot of dopeness going on here. So shouts to my man for gifting me this. I actually have like a bunch of his really old work that he probably like would be embarrassed that I have and hung up on the wall. But homie, you can't stop me. Don't give me things because I will do that. And I only say that because he's gotten like ridiculously better over the years. But that's what happens when you do something consistently. Believe it or not, you get better at it. And I guess I did comedy for like 5 years. So it wasn't hard for me to jump right back on stage. I had the jokes. I just went through my book. I fucking actually did a whole little bit about dog rescue. And I essentially just said all the shit I said in the third round against Carter, but without rhyming. Like saying, you never see a cat with a homeless person. Your dog will go, your fucking cat will starve next to you, but your dog will starve next to you, but your cat will go fucking move in with the next door neighbors if they got better food. Like all that shit just worked as a joke. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, your boy, still got it, baby. I always had more presence than all these fucking nerdy comedians. It was literally just about having material, which is the hardest part. I think I did comedy for like almost 6 years, and I had maybe 10 minutes of solid, like, I can go do this anywhere material. I mean, I've certainly probably had an hour of shit altogether that I had, like, used multiple times, but only 10 minutes of that was I confident enough in to, like, perform at, like, the Improv or, like, one of the more prestigious comedy clubs where I wasn't performing for shitheads drunk at the bar. Because that's a whole different ball game, baby. And that's kind of where I'm at right now is like, I kind of just want to do the shithead at the bar thing until maybe I got more material and then I'll go to the comedy club. But I'll tell you what I'm not doing. Calling it a job, pretending like it's work, putting that kind of pressure on myself. It's not necessary. I run a fucking dog rescue. That's what I do for a living. All of anything else is just for fun now. It's just for y'all. It's just for shits and giggles. I skateboard all the time now. Your boy's never going to be a skateboarder for a living. Telling jokes, back to that shit, not going to be doing a Netflix special anytime soon or ever. Doesn't mean I can't have fun being out there telling jokes. You know what I'm saying? I think that having another job has really opened up the possibilities of all the things that I can do for fun. And if people find them entertaining, great. Flea meds for Chispita. That's important. I gotta go. I gotta go bring Chispita flea medication. This is my little fat princess. I love that dog. She used to fucking bite me when we first got her. I placed her with the foster. It's been over a year now. That dog fucking loves people. Used to have to put the muzzle on when I take it to the vet. Not anymore. She's a good fucking girl. So I'm gonna go give Chispita some fucking flea medication. Check it out. If anybody's local, tomorrow night, Big Time Wrestling, Kirk White's Big Time Wrestling. Pretty awesome organization. It's the 2024 Kirk White Battle Royale. Gus Suggs in this bitch. I'm bringing Gus out. We built a crazy little cart for him. You should follow Gus on Instagram. Gus has his own Instagram page now, Lord Suggins. LordSuggins. Lord Suggins. And he's going to make his debut tomorrow, his Big Time Wrestling debut. It's pretty fucking awesome. Follow Lord Suggins. Come out to Big Time Wrestling. It's in Newark, in Fremont area at the Newark Pavilion. We'll be there and have a booth set up. Ryan is going to be in the building. Our executive director, Ruth, is bringing the whole family. We're going to be there selling Dogs Are Dope merch. And Lord Suggins is going to be fucking in his cape and crown. I got a crazy cart for him. I'm going to be rolling him around to meet the people. All right. So you want to meet the coolest dog on earth? You want to come kick it with me? Big Time Wrestling tomorrow night, Newark Pavilion. All right. btwrestling.com if you want to get tickets. If you're local. If not, I'll make sure I grab some clips of Lord Suggins and I'll post them up on the YouTube. So yeah, love you guys. Thanks for fucking kicking it with me on this Thursday. Always a good time. Like I said, every week, once a week, I'm going to do one of these. Hopefully we do one solo podcast and we get one guest in every week. Ain't hard now that it's in the spot. And of course, if you're looking to adopt a dog, or if you just want to donate and support dogs, you can always go to adoptmyblock.org/donate. Follow us on Instagram, adoptmyblock. You'll see a little dog paw. And pick up some Dogs Are Dope merch at dogsaredope.co. Okay. Love you guys. Peace out.